you curvaceous bards and bardettes. Welcome back to I Cast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt.
I used the wrong hand. Can we start that over?
Roll it again.
I used my right hand for that. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I use my right hand or my left hand when I do this. But I feel like I do this every time. I feel like I do that every time I start an episode.
You know, your arm hair is dark enough that when I looked at the video for half a second, I thought you had like a sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, I got, so I'm supposed to be very hairy.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be like one of those people who, not quite gorilla.
Yeah.
But like pretty hairy. But it hasn't happened yet. And I'm not sure what that means for me.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Like
I don't know.
I feel like most of my family is like I'm talking relatives and stuff before me. I feel like they were hairy, but
neither of your brothers seem particularly hairy.
No, I don't think they are either. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't seen them without shirts or whatever in a long time, but I can't. Yeah, they don't. Oh, wait. Did I see them at the? No, I haven't seen them without a shirt for a long time. It's just how it is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I certainly haven't.
Yeah. Me neither. Have you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Great. Anyway.
It's a great start.
It is a pretty good start.
All right. So we left last episode off on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So there was something that I wanted to talk about, and I've wanted to talk about it for a while.
And coincidentally, so have I. So,
right.
But we didn't really say that beforehand, really. That we both wanted to talk about this.
No. And so it almost came up last episode, but I really wanted to do some more prep work on it. Because there are different ways of looking at this. But what we want to talk about is character arcs. How you take your character's gameplay and make it a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah. Gameplay to story. I like that. I like that explanation.
Because your character does not have any thoughts or feelings or anything like that. Because they don't exist.
Yeah, sorry.
They do not exist.
They don't really exist. Yeah.
But insofar as a non-existent thing can have those, and insofar as like we as humans have the ability to create that in our mind, it's important that you give them all that stuff that they need as far as emotional resolution goes.
Yes. Yeah, you should. They should feel like real.
Right.
People.
Like when you think about
entities.
them, you should worry about them. You should be upset when they do something bad. Those sorts of things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the goal, right? That's what you're headed toward. And we're going to tell you how to do it. We are right now.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to talk about with character arcs is one frame of reference or one paradigm for building them. And I want to talk about why it does and does not work in D&D. Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. D&D is tricky when it comes to character arcs, for sure.
It is. Now there are different things. There are different character archetypes or things like that you can follow.
Yeah.
And you should.
Some templates. Templates are good.
Like you don't have to go against the grain with every single little thing.
No.
And like if your character is going to follow the hero's journey, like the monomyth structure or something like that, that's great. That's going to be a good story.
Yeah.
There's a reason we keep retelling it.
We tell that one a lot, and yeah, there's a reason for it. Absolutely.
And every little twist on it, every little twist is a valuable thing. Like every little thing that you do to it, what you have something to bring to that story.
Yes.
Like pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that that's one thing, is you don't need to be crazy and out of the box with this. your character can follow some sort of a formula. You can have an idea of what they're good, but it's going to get a little mixed up. All right. But so let me tell you about this paradigm. One way of looking at it. It is based on the character's beliefs. Mm-hmm. Do they believe what is true or not? Right? Like that's how it starts. And in a good story, a character's beliefs are tested against the world's against reality.
Yeah, like the world, whether it's social or just pervasive or something like that, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. You know, it could be other people, it could be systems, mm-hmm. institutions, yep. Just the nature of nature, even.
Yes,
you know, yep, any of that. Mm-hmm.
And so the way that this would work is, well, I'm going to tell you about the couple different types of character arc involving a belief. The most common one mm-hmm. is that your character believes something that is not true. Then they overcome that belief to learn the truth, mm-hmm. which gives them what they need to succeed.
Yes.
This is every Pixar movie.
Yes.
Every Pixar movie, that moment where it makes you cry, if it's going to make you cry, that is sometimes it is the ultimate moment where another character says, I know you're going to realize the truth and I'm going to sacrifice myself so you can realize that. There's sometimes that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give away any spoilers for Pixar movies right now or anything.
Are we avoiding Pixar movie spoilers?
I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me too much, but
because I was going to say that's not every Pixar movie.
No, yeah. Some of them are a little different. Oh, but yeah, go ahead, go for it.
I was just going to say WALL-E is like the opposite of that.
Oh, you know what? WALL-E is another. Yeah, we'll get to there.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, most Pixar movies though.
Yeah, but most Pixar,
Disney movies and things like that.
Most Pixar movies are they believe a lie and then mm-hmm. They overcome the lie and then mm-hmm.
and the truth allows them to save the world or whatever it is. Right, mm-hmm. like whatever happens, it allows them to.
It's raining.
I think it's raining.
It's raining.
It allows them to overcome their problems, though.
We have a surprise guest on the podcast, Rain.
Yeah, we didn't expect them. I mean, I didn't look at the weather today. So.
Yeah, pitter pattering. You might hear some pitter patters.
The cars are louder, so they'll probably hear that instead.
Okay.
Anyway,
fair. Very fair.
If it rains real hard, though, that might pick up. That could be fun. A nice little cozy rainy episode for you guys. We'll get real close to those mics.
Get a little ASMR in here, Be like, hey, how you doing, guys?
Yeah. Anyway, so another character arc, and this one's my favorite.
Okay.
Absolute top 100% favorite and it's the only one that I know the name of. They call it the flat character arc.
Yeah.
And I just like the name because it's flat, but it's an arc. That's funny.
It's a flat arc.
That's great. It's a flat arc. Guys, the arc is flat. Don't believe the lies.
Dun dun dun.
So this is every shonen protagonist. This is your Goku. This is your. Is it Naruto? It's not Naruto.
What?
It is not Naruto.
It's not Naruto.
He changes.
You're right. Naruto does change.
It is Luffy. It is Luffy from One Piece, guys.
Definitely Luffy.
It's super Luffy.
For sure Luffy. What other is it Midoriya from My Hero Academia? I don't know.
Midoriya.
No, because he changes. Well, his ideals don't change though.
No. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I want to talk about is you don't have to, your arc doesn't encompass you as a person. It's like it's one area, right? It's like one thought, and so you could do multiple arcs at once in a D&D campaign. That's what's happening. Like you don't have just one thing to keep track of. Sorry, well you could. But
yeah, if you wanted to do a one-on-one, which are fun,
right?
And we're going to do those.
Well, but it's just like for longer campaigns and stuff, your character's beliefs are going to be tested and challenged a lot.
A lot, yeah, and more than once, probably.
There could be times when they are tested and fail. Right? Their beliefs are tested, and either they discover their beliefs to be wrong, or they begin believing a lie.
Yeah, they begin to accept something that's a lie. Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. And that but that can be in one area. It can be like, well, killing certain people is okay.
Yeah, or
certain things like that.
Investing in cryptocurrency is a good idea.
Right. Yeah, but like you're still financially prudent otherwise.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it is a good. I don't know. I really don't know anything about it. But yes, continue.
So yeah, it is compartmentalized a little bit. Like it's not all encompassing. For some things it is, and a lot of the time for the flat character arc it is. This is it's when your character believes what is true, and that belief is tested, and they overcome the world's lie.
Right,
like there are beliefs in the world around them, other people who believe the lie, who come up against them and fail.
The image I get is the world breaks against the strength of their character.
Right. Exactly.
And it's a very empowering type of arc, I think.
Right. It is, and at the same time too, it's like you can resonate so well with it because like we all want to believe the truth. I think. Well, do we? I think most people want to believe the truth.
Yeah, most people do.
And they want to seek the truth. So as a result, like, we all want to be at that point, right?
You're right.
Now, here's where this gets tricky in D&D.
Yeah.
You don't know what the truth is.
No.
Because your DM controls the truth to some extent, and the other players control the truth to some extent. And that's why it's tricky in the real world, too, I think. Like, most people don't go through their life with a flat character arc. Some people do because they see something as the truth and they stick to it. But here's an example: Mother Teresa, famous saint person.
Yeah,
I guess she is Saint Teresa now.
Yep, Saint Teresa.
She doubted whether or not she didn't doubt whether or not she was doing the right thing. She did doubt the teachings of the church she was involved in.
Right.
Like she did doubt that kind of stuff and was like, I don't know if we should be teaching this or things like. And if she could doubt that and also be as impactful in the world as she was, well, I mean, like that's that's
powerful.
Yeah. So, it's really hard to find something where a flat character arc will work. But there's a related character arc, which is that your character believes a lie. And they stick to believing the lie no matter what tries to test that belief. And so this one's considered usually a negative character arc, right? But it's really the same arc. It's a flat character, negative version. Right?
Yes, and that would usually be an antagonist type thing.
Yeah, it would usually, or at least it seems like it should belong to an antagonist, but in D&D it can get a little mixed up and stuff. My character Liam is an artificer who is basically, not even basically, he's making guns.
Yep.
In a medieval setting, and when I say guns, I mean it's at least going to be semi-automatic rifles at some point. Like he's going to figure out a lot of stuff that would be devastating in a setting like that.
It would have a huge impact on the world for sure.
Yes.
Like things would be different.
But he 100% believes that what he's doing is right, because someone else is going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Is his first thing.
And might as well be him.
And if it is him, he is responsible enough and smart enough to come up with ways to prevent disaster.
Right. Like
that's what he thinks.
If he's in control of it, he can make sure that it's not it's not going to be destructive and devastating.
Right. Exactly. Like if someone else does it, it would be a problem. If he's the one who's doing it, it will be okay for everyone.
Yep.
Is what he thinks.
He's a teenager and he knows.
He is a teenager and he knows best.
He knows what's best for the world. Of course he does, you know, like all teenagers.
But maybe that belief will be tested and turn out to be true. Maybe that belief will be tested and turn out to be false, and it will be his undoing. You know? And everyone's.
Ooh, I just realized that's most of that's on me.
Exactly.
To kind of decide how that goes. And I've thought about this already before, but even I'm waiting to see what happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not just up to the DM.
No,
it's also up to the other players.
Right.
What will happen with your character's arc.
Right.
Because like there are other characters who vehemently oppose what he's doing.
Yes, vehemently.
Right.
Oppose.
And are warning him constantly. Oh my gosh, constantly. Would you please just cool it? No, I'm just joking.
You know who you are.
Mom.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway, so he is very consistently warned that he should not be doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And time will tell. Maybe he really can. And Liam is based on a real person. And that is, guess what? His belief throughout his whole life is that, yes, there are a lot of problems, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to overcome all of those problems. Right. Like we will find solutions to climate change. We will find solutions to this or that. Like there are bad things in our future that are unavoidable, but we will overcome them. Yeah. And we'll see. I hope that he maintains that flat character arc and it's really good. I hope that that's the truth, you know? Me too. And I've never thought about it that way, but you're totally right. You know, that's kind of how he views the world. Yeah. Well, he's said as much. Yeah. Right? Right. Yeah. Right. But I've never thought about it in this same context. This is just kind of like a new perspective, I guess. Yeah. For that same kind of thing. His belief is that ingenuity will overcome any obstacle. And that we're also tough, right? Like that we can handle some problems. Man, you know, that Michael Jackson was man, what a dude. Mel Gibson is my hero. I'm really glad that you chose to really embody Charlize Theron in D&D. What can I say? You know, like, just. Could you see my brain like trying to like think of a just non sequitur person? Yeah, I was gonna go to Dave Grohl next, but that wasn't far enough away, so I was like, just forget it. I don't even know where it's over. I don't even know where that came from. Charlize Theron. We got some scratching at that door. Oh back man, there. Basket scratches. So my favorite, and I don't know if I really want to, well, I do want to, but we'll see if it happens, because like you said, a lot of what will happen in the campaign is going to be based on decisions the characters make. Right. But my favorite character arc, I don't remember what, maybe you can tell me what this one's called. It's where the character believes the truth and then is like corrupted by the lie and then embraces the lie. Right. They start out knowing what the truth is. Yes. Yeah. Knowing the truth. They decide that they prefer a lie. Yes. That sort of thing.
Right.
It's not always a decision per se.
Right.
But it's like a willful ignorance or a willful, ignorance of the truth, basically.
Right, exactly. I like stories like, I don't know why I like stories like that so much. I mean, they're tragic, you know, but tragedy is just as human as anything else.
Right.
You know, and I guess, you know, it feels really human to me, those kinds of stories.
Yeah. And they are. What's a good example of one like that? Because there are definitely.
Well, we talked before about Anakin Skywalker. Is one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he knows the truth to begin with.
No.
He kind of like.
No, you're right. He doesn't really.
Because there's another one like that. I guess we'll get to that later.
Well, it's one that you talked about before. I've never read this book, but isn't that what George Orwell's 1986, is that what it is?
1984.
1980 something.
1984.
1984. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is like that. Like
with Big Brother and everything. Yeah. I've never read it clearly because I can't remember what the title of the book is. But
actually, so that's a good example of one. I'm gonna spoil 1984 sort of for you, like character arc wise, because if you haven't read it yet, it's been out for a couple of years. It came out in 1984. That's not even true. No, it was in like the. I don't want to say because I don't know. Maybe 50s though, or earlier.
I have no clue. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. I work at a Barnes and Noble, so you'd think I might know something about books. I just forget what year though. I can tell you exactly where it is on the shelf. I can point that out to you.
That's exactly the kind of knowledge you would be expected to know.
That's what I'd be expected to know.
Yeah.
And I can show you all 1, 2, 3, 4 different editions that we have in stock right now. Anyway, they're basic. It's the same book. Like you just get whichever one you like. Yeah. There's one that's paired up with Animal Farm though that looks interesting to me. So I'll probably never read 1984 again because it's brutal.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because the character, the main character, sort of, it's sort of like he starts out believing a lie.
Yeah.
He learns the truth, but then he's later again forced to embrace the lie.
Oh wow!
It's pretty much just against it's kind of against his will, but as soon as it's not against his will, that's when it is most tragic. And at some point, he stops willing against the lie, basically. Yeah,
like the lie sort of breaks into him and corrupts him. In a way. Yeah.
And that's that's super tragic, right?
Yeah. Super tragedy. It's a new genre we just came up with.
Yeah.
Super tragedy.
Have you heard about hyperpop music?
Hyperpop music?
Yeah, I've heard the word like one time. Look, I'll watch the YouTube video I recommended later.
Okay.
It's like I'm at 1,300 videos to watch or something. It's real.
Hyperpop. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like this new trend in pop music. It encompasses a lot of different things or at least that I thought of as different from each other.
Okay.
But things like, I believe, I watched like 3 seconds of the video. They mentioned stuff like Death Cab for Cutie, I believe.
I know of that band, yeah.
And some other bands kind of like that.
Yeah.
But also stuff like Kesha.
Oh.
And some other stuff like that. And it's this sort of like direction that pop music is headed, where it's like hyperpop. It's hyperpop. It's just so pop music, and it's about the pop music lifestyle sort of thing. Like you know what Kesha's music is about.
Yeah.
It's all about delivering that feeling of like we're partying, we're having a good time, but like it's not actually. It doesn't actually give you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but it doesn't actually give you that.
Kinda, I think.
Well, I guess it maybe depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of when you were describing it was Bruno Mars.
He might be one of them. Yeah, he might be one of the people.
Because Uptown Funk came on the shop the other day. Yesterday. That was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
And like I was grooving along to that. I like that song.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so yes. the other types of character arc, there is the there's the one like Anakin Skywalker, which is actually pretty much he believes a lie as a kid. He believes that the Jedi are these gods and stuff like that. Like you realize that right away when he's like, when Qui-Gon is like, after his lightsaber is pointed out, he's like, "How do you know I didn't kill a Jedi and take it from him?" And he's like, "You can't kill a Jedi."
Kill a Jedi, yeah. Smash,
grown up.
Smash cut to General Grievous. Anyway,
right. So yeah, that is you know, he starts out already believing lies, and then he believes a worse lie, and then a worse lie, because the lies are leading toward the truth, a truth that he desires. Yeah,
and that's kind of like the thing that really corrupts him ultimately is desire. And actually, you know, even though some people would argue that those movies aren't very good, now that it's being pointed out, I'm seeing that was that really was set up from the beginning, because that scene where he's like, "Whoa, Jedi," that kind of encapsulates his desire. I mean, like,
right.
He clearly
he wants to
have that power.
Right.
He wants to be the unkillable Jedi.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he always saw himself as becoming.
Right.
No, well, he didn't. He saw himself as just like a person. Then he was told, "Hey, you should be a Jedi." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's interesting to think about. Even in that, to me, that also just goes to show how hard it is to make a movie.
Yeah.
Because like that's not bad, you know, but those movies are not good. I don't think.
Episode 1's pretty freaking great.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah. They're like movies. They're like it's not like as compelling of a thing.
Yeah. They're definitely popcorn movies. I say they're not good, but I like watching them.
Yeah.
You know, so
I enjoyed them. Well, I didn't enjoy episode 1 when it came out because I was too young to know what it was.
I didn't watch any of them when they came out.
But as soon as I was old enough to like know what it was, I was like, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
So it worked on me.
Yeah.
I had no ability to discern yet, so I think episode 1's wonderful. And Jar Jar Binks is hilarious.
Don't at me.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks is hilarious.
That's what I thought as a kid.
There's somebody watching this episode right now.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. You know who you are.
All the people who complain about Jar Jar Binks, I'm sorry, but
when I was a kid, I had this.
When he puts his tongue in the thing, dude.
When he puts his tongue,
that's not even comedy gold. That's like you can't even alchemize up to that. There's no way you could.
I had this
strongest magic ever.
I had this really, really scary Jar Jar Binks beach towel when I was a kid. Like it was just
I'm familiar with the one.
Yeah, you've seen it, I've sure.
Seen it.
Yeah, just a huge picture of Jar Jar Binks' head, his head.
Yeah.
Like just giant cat pupil eyes staring at you. Oh, that thing was scary.
You know what? I know why I've seen it. I've seen yours. I've seen the one that you have.
Yeah.
Or had.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, you know, you've been over to my house when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So of course you've seen it. Yeah, I haven't thought about that particular thing in a long time. It's bringing back some scary memories. That thing was so creepy. I think I'd still think it was creepy and unsettling now. Probably more so now, actually.
Yeah. Maybe.
If I looked at it now. So anyway, that's Star Wars. Character arcs.
Oh, you know what? There's I guess we didn't really talk about it too much. There's one more type of character arc that we didn't get to.
Yeah.
And it's one of, based on what we've talked about on this show, I would say it's one of our favorites. Because because we keep coming back to this one.
Okay. Lay it on me.
This is when a character believes a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They overcome the lie and learn the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like it.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I like that kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah. So it's like the Disney Pixar one.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it does not make them happy.
Yeah.
It does not give them what they want.
Ooh.
Even though they have learned new knowledge, they have gained new tools.
When the truth becomes a burden.
It's a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
You
absolutely.
You have gained the ability to overcome the obstacles, but at what cost?
Right, exactly. Now you
and that one is One Punch Man, but before the story starts.
Yeah.
Right? He believes that being the strongest hero ever and being able to beat anything with one punch will make him the kind of person that he imagined he wanted to be. He gets there and he realizes it does not do any of that.
Yeah. And that's a great show.
Yeah,
it is. I like that kind of story a lot. That's kind of what the entire show is about. Mm-hmm.
It's actually it feels like a lot of the other characters are sort of these different flat character arcs who are designed to like let him bounce off of them and see like, oh well, if I was the best at this, would I be happy? If I was the best at that, would I be happy? Or this or this. And it turns out like no, everybody's got their problems.
Yeah.
No, these people who are not as strong as you also do seem happier. But like actually it's going to turn out that each one of them has their own struggles as well. As what it seems like. Yeah.
Right. And part of what makes that show compelling, I think, too, is what I was going to get into last episode, which is character flaws.
Right.
Because I think those are really important for a story. I mentioned that I don't really think that like playing like a perfect character who doesn't do anything wrong would be very fun, because I think that the flaws and the things that go wrong are oftentimes what make it fun.
Yeah.
Or at least engaging.
Right.
In some way.
Yeah, it's not always fun when your character really screws something up for everybody.
Right. Like if a character dies, that's not fun, but it can be engaging. That's what really got me interested in starting to run D&D games after watching Critical Role, was watching the first time a character died.
Yeah.
In that show.
Yeah.
In the game, because I was like, wow, this is a big deal. Like oh man, like they're making a story out of this. I thought that was cool. So yes. I really like that kind of stuff.
Agreed. Yeah. I won't elaborate on that any further. I think that's good.
Great.
This has been the character arc episode.
Yeah.
My friends. And I already knew from the beginning it was going to be an excellent episode.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world believed that it was not.
Okay.
And I stuck to my guns, man. And it was great. So
there's
my character arc.
There's the arc. Can you guys find the arc?
So, people do. They complain about different things. I guess there is another thing to add. They complain about different character arcs. Like the flat character arc takes a lot of flack. Because it's like, well, they never changed. But like, you're not paying attention then. It's not about them.
Right.
It's about the world.
Everybody else. Those change has to happen for a story to be interesting, but that doesn't mean that the protagonist has to change.
Yeah. It could be that the protagonist stays exactly how they are and the gods change.
Yeah.
Right? Like it could be that the protagonist stays exactly how they are and the entire world needs to adapt to that.
Okay, I'm not going to elaborate on this, but I just thought of this.
No, because I thought of another thing too.
So go ahead. Okay, believes a lie, or believes the truth. Believes the truth. Is shown a lie, and then chooses to, or no, believes a lie, but then the truth is tragic. That is one of my favorite examples of that, without really getting too much into it, is Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's
I haven't watched it or read it, but I do kind of know some of how that goes, and yeah, that would be a good example.
Yeah,
of that.
Excellent show. The show on Netflix is really good. I haven't read the manga, but the show, the Netflix adaptation of it is really well done. Definitely for adults only, for sure. But if you want an example of that kind of character arc, I can't think of anything better.
Right.
What were you thinking about? You're thinking about something too, you said.
Your character can have multiple arcs.
Yes. Yep.
At the same exact time. They can be flat on one thing, and then they can believe a lie on another.
Especially in D&D.
They can, yeah.
Because there's so many things happening.
Yep.
Because if you really wanted to make the story interesting, every player character would have something, and their thing can affect other characters.
Right.
So Cataclysmic Rift, there's at least 7 things going on.
Yep. And I mean, I am very familiar with at least one conflict, but there are other conflicts in there.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And so like only one of us can be right, sort of. I mean, that's not entirely true either.
You're right.
But also it is. Like there is a single truth. But at the same time, in the practicality of the world, we may both be short of that truth. Like we may not be seeing the whole thing.
Yeah, and sometimes you can do the wrong thing and have things still work out anyway.
Yep.
And a lot of the times that happens to people, and they use that as justification that they were right.
Right. Exactly. They believe the lie. It works out for them anyway. The lie is true.
Right.
Correlation implies causation.
Right. Exactly. You know, and that I think, I don't know if that's a compelling story, but I see it a lot in real life.
Yes. People giving advice on the internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you see somebody giving advice based on their own life, be real careful about that.
Yes.
And I'm talking anybody, because Steve Jobs gave a commencement speech where he says a certain thing about, he says like, follow your passion no matter what. But if you look back at his career, that's not what he did.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like supremely passionate about computers. He liked them, thought they were cool, but he got a job at Atari because he smelled bad and just thought it would be a fun thing. And like, they were like, sure, you can work the night shift because you smell bad. And maybe wear shoes sometime. And he was like, nah, dog.
Nah, man, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, right. Like, and that's how he got into it. And he knew people around him who were good with computers, but like, that's not what he was like supremely interested in. He just had to do that. And it did give him what he was interested in eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, you have to be careful following somebody's advice, because the story that we tell ourselves isn't always our story. Yeah.
In high school, I had a class that I took. I've told you about it so many times. It was called Peer Leadership. And that was the single most important class I took in high school, for sure. Because really what it was a class on peer mediation. It was all about emotions. It was all about two people are in conflict. What do we do to resolve that?
Yeah, and pretty much you're going to roll some dice and like whatever. Yeah.
The cool thing about it is that it wasn't like, let's help make sure that everything works out and everything goes back to the way it was. No, the class was about let's make sure that we figure out what is best for everybody. Like if two people are in conflict with each other about something, and the result could be they probably just shouldn't hang out anymore. They just shouldn't be friends. They shouldn't associate with each other.
Could be.
And that's like the right solution. And that's what's going to be best for both of them. That's very emotional though. Like if that's the real, like you might really feel bad about that, even if it's the truth. But the thing that really they drilled into our heads in that class was never give advice. That's what they said. They said never give advice.
Yeah.
Because there's so many problems with giving advice. One of the biggest ones though is you are, especially if it's somebody that you really know and like somebody you're friends with, if you give them advice and it doesn't work out for them, then that's just asking for problems.
Right.
Because, that could cause them to be like, I was just doing what you told me to do. Like it worked out terribly for me. And you could end up being like, well, you didn't do it right or something, that's not my fault. You dropped the ball on this or that. So I've tried my darndest throughout my years to just never give advice.
Right.
If somebody comes to me with a problem, I just let them bounce that problem off of me until they come up with the answer.
Which is usually, a lot of the time people know the right answer anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, because the answer is there.
Right.
And you can think about it for a while. Eventually you're going to come to the right answer.
Right.
For you. The real problem is that it's hard to do a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well,
and that's why you're talking about it and not doing it.
Yeah. The funny thing about it too is that try this at home the next time it happens, everybody, because if you... Is
this advice? No, this is an experiment. You're prompting an experiment. We're good.
Yes, I'm prompting an experiment. Just try it. Just notice that if you try to give advice to somebody, if they come to you with a problem and you try to give them advice, notice how they will almost always reject it. So like most people won't accept advice, even if they explicitly ask for it, they won't accept it.
Yeah.
Then just notice what happens when you just ask them leading questions to help them come to their own conclusion. I've had so many people, I've like never really told anybody what to do, at least since that class. And anytime I've done that, where I just ask leading questions and help them come to their own conclusions, I've always been thanked for my help. Right. But I didn't actually like do anything.
And otherwise they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's true though, because it does help, right?
It does. It's very helpful to just, because your perspective matters, but if you tell them what to do, you're almost, I don't know how to explain it. You're almost like taking their agency away or something.
Yeah, well, because one thing that I've noticed is that the people around you know what your biggest problem is.
Yeah.
Like they all know.
Yeah.
And the closer they are, the more they know, and the less likely it is that they can tell you, because the more they know exactly what your problem is, the less likely you are to listen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And I totally I am. Knowing about logical fallacies does not make you immune to them.
No, not at all.
Which is the great struggle of my life.
Yeah.
Like I know about all these problems, and I'm still a person.
Yeah,
Oops.
yeah.
All the knowledge in the world couldn't save me from me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
to be human is to struggle. That's part of it.
That's what the Buddha said.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. So suffering is one of the most human things.
Yeah. Well, actually, he said life is suffering. It includes all life.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
animal.
The interesting thing about that is that that's not meant to be, and I've never taken it as something negative.
Yeah.
Or like depressing. It's not depressing. It's actually almost empowering to know
it's not life is suffering, so
give up.
It's just life is suffering. It's just how it,
right.
You're never at 100% comfort. You're never at the perfect amount of food inside your body at a given time. Like there's always something a little off.
Right. And the thing that's relieving about that to me is that means that I don't have to, no matter how much it seems like, especially with social media and stuff, no matter how much it seems like other people are living the perfect life, nobody is. Everybody's suffering in some way. And that's kind of relieving because then you know that there's not really anything wrong with you.
Right.
And because you're going to suffer anyway, you might as well go through life doing what you really want and what you're really passionate about, know?
Right.
Because whether you do that or you do nothing is going to be the same.
Yep. Pretty much.
More or less.
Could you pass me that over there, that homebrew?
Oh.
Could you just give me that nice bottle of homebrew I'm seeing?
Yeah. Here.
Oh, it's homebrew time.
It's homebrew time.
You knew it was coming.
Oh, you better believe it. Okay, so
we got 2 homebrews today.
Yeah,
2 homebrews.
We're gonna do subclass.
Ooh.
And then I don't remember what the second thing is, but we'll get there. So
subclass. Okay, give me the name. I'll tell you what it is. But don't tell me what it is a subclass of. No, I guess that gives it away anyway. They're all named uniquely. Okay, go ahead. Okay, all right.
Cleric.
Okay.
Fear domain.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Fear domain.
I know, for a cleric too, right?
Trickery domain is like that's in the gray area. This is bad guy cleric, but it could be a good guy too. But just it's Machiavellian, right? It's like well, not really. That's by any means necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
This is like that is what this is. The ends justify the means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What kind of things do they do?
So their expanded spell list includes Cause Fear, Dissonant Whispers, Hold Person, Phantasmal Force, Enemies Abound, Fear, which is different than Cause Fear.
Right.
Phantasmal Killer, Confusion, Dream, and Hallow. All right, so there are a lot of spells.
What does Hallow do?
I don't know.
Okay.
I could look it up later if you want.
Yeah, it's fine.
I really don't know. I don't
like
remember.
Some of them, like Phantasmal Killer is pretty brutal.
Yeah, it is.
So how much?
That's a 7th level spell.
5d8 psychic damage every turn.
Yeah, Hollow and Dream are both 9th level spells.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry.
Is Dream
that you get them at cleric level 9?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is not true at
cleric
all.
level 9.
Yeah.
So you get when do you get Phantasmal Killer?
Cleric level 7.
That's pretty early for that. It feels like
that's when it becomes available. But I guess it wouldn't. I guess it would only be available. Oh, that's just the standard. Like, that's just how cleric spells are allotted by standard. Yeah. You get one at 1st level, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th. So you get some proficiencies with intimidation and perception.
Okay,
that makes sense, right? So this is basically like a mastery over fear. So not only causing fear, but also having mastery
being
over
immune to it.
Or just having mastery over your own fear, because this acknowledges that fear is useful too.
Okay.
So this is why it's so cool. Like this person, I didn't say who. It's okay. But this user is Pilotheus. And they really thought about this.
Yeah.
Like this is cool. So you learn to embrace fear. So you're no longer easily shocked by certain things and experiences. You have advantage on saving throws against effects that would cause the frightened condition. So you can have advantage against them, right?
I have to sneeze.
Uh-oh. All right. Glad we got that out of the way.
Well, that's going to be fun to
edit. So your channel divinity is called Fear Itself. So you basically cause the fear of divine justice in creatures around you. So each creature that you can see of your choice within 30 feet of you makes a wisdom saving throw, or they become frightened. And just like most of these kinds of things, they get to repeat the saving throw at the end of each of their turns and do that, right? Against your spell save DC. But at 6th level, you get the stench of fear.
Gross.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Others around you reek with the stench of their terror, drawing you toward them like sharks in bloody water, is how it describes this. This person's a wordsmith if I've ever seen one. Like that evokes some pretty potent imagery. So you can sense fear in others. You ignore the effects of invisibility on creatures within 100 feet of you who are under the frightened condition. So if somebody's invisible, if they're afraid, you can smell them out. Like you know exactly where they are. That's cool. Additionally, you sense the direction and location of any creature within 1,000 feet if they have been frightened by you within the last 24 hours. And if they are moving, you know the direction they're moving. So that's that's better than something like Hunter's Mark, but also Hunter's Mark just works.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark, you're just like, I got you.
Right.
But this is more like you've got to make them afraid first.
Right.
So there's
so there is a balance.
They have to
have
failed a save at some point.
Right. At 8th level, you harness your fear to enhance your physical abilities, improving focus and speed. So while you are frightened, you don't have disadvantage, but instead advantage on perception checks. Your movement speed increases by 10, and you can use dash or disengage as a bonus action.
Huh.
All right. So you're basically, this is why this is so cool. It lets
you can do a double dash and move like 90 feet.
Right.
On your turn. Oh, no. Not 90 feet, but 120 feet because of the increased movement speed. If you're frightened. Yes.
If you have a normal 30-foot movement, then that increases to 40. Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
And then so you get the double dash and
and then you can use your action too if you want. Yeah. So and additionally, as an action, you can draw on terrors of your past to induce fear onto yourself. Yeah. For 1 minute. With you as the source of your fear.
Okay, so it's kind of like a mini rage.
Yeah.
It's like a rage.
It's like rage.
Instead of attacking type effects, it's like movement type effects.
So you're considered always in the line of sight of yourself for the purposes of disadvantage, but can move freely, which is a big deal because normally you can't move towards something that you're afraid of, right?
But if you are the thing,
so you can't escape.
Anyway works.
Yeah,
pretty much
any direction, right? At the end of each turn, you can attempt the saving throw with a DC of 12 to end the condition, but you may choose to fail the saving throw every time, up to its full duration.
Very nice.
And you can use this number equal to your wisdom modifier.
I could just imagine that. Like you're in the middle of a battle, things are going real bad, and you're like, not again.
Oh yeah.
And like your heart starts to race, and you're like seeing, your whole party is getting down by, I don't know, some big ugly thing, and you're like, oh shoot, oh no, and then like all of a sudden you everyone's like, please help, and you're like, and you bolt.
You just run away.
And you are gone.
You are gone. You're
sole survivor, probably, you know, that sort of thing. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, you would it like maybe there was no winning that situation and it rescues you from the TPK.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the last feature of this, which kind of feels unrelated, but also is related. At 17th level, you can cast the spell Find Greater Steed to summon a nightmare, basically.
Oh, okay.
And it says here that you get to pick the color of its flames, which I think is a nice touch. Mm-hmm. And so when you're mounted on the nightmare, you are shrouded in the flames of the nightmare. And the flames are drawn to the fears of others, bursting forth to envelop them in terror. As a bonus action, you can extend the flames outward to a creature that is frightened within 30 feet of you, dealing 1d6 psychic damage as they see their fears flickering in the flames. See, this is a lot of cool imagery too.
Yeah.
Like mechanically and functionally, it's really nice, but also like lore wise and role playing wise, it's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely a winner.
Yep.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool, cool little domain there.
I agree. I think it's awesome.
Add it to your game now. At home, you at home.
Yeah.
This was an advertisement.
Yeah.
An advertisement for this subclass, which you may add to your game by going to
strangedomainnames.com.
Oh, okay, cool. For your homework, I'm going to have you look up what's there. Anyway.
You wanted a second one, right?
Yeah.
So there's a spell called Zargon. It's Zargon again.
Oh,
we're back to Zargon.
Back.
Do you remember his instant replay?
I do remember his instant replay.
This is Zargon's Hospitable Hive, which is a second level conjuration.
Okay.
Druids, rangers, and wizards can cast this spell. The casting time is 1 action.
Okay.
Range is 30 feet.
Yeah.
Instantaneous. Material, you need a little bit of honey.
Okay.
Okay. So what this does is it summons a beehive.
Okay.
And I quote, somewhere within range. I think it might be random. I think you might roll for that.
Okay.
The caster can choose whether the hive is full of bees or empty.
Okay.
Bees within the hive create up to 10 pounds of honey per day, depending on available flowering plants. This is a lot of DM work here to be able to answer a lot of these questions.
Yeah.
Any bees inside the hive are not immediately angered upon casting. They'll just do their business, right? They'll remain within the hive unless they're provoked. If the hive is provoked, bees will fly out and attempt to sting anyone within 10 feet of the hive. Mm-hmm. Anyone being stung by bees makes a Constitution save against the caster's spell save DC, or take 1d12 poison damage on a failure.
Oh, okay.
Bees from the hive will only attempt to sting the same target once before dying. That is it. That's all it says.
What?
You can also cast it as a ritual.
What?
If you want. Well, that's why I saved this, because I was like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand the function of the spell.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's not good.
That doesn't mean it's not good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No. Not it's like a challenge. It's like a challenge. Like,
when would you use this?
Yeah, exactly. They put this spell in front of me and they're like, I bet you can't come up with it. And I'm like, okay, but what if how am I gonna, I just gotta think of how I'm gonna make this thing work.
What do I do this? Are we in the forest? Are there bears nearby? You get attacked by a bear.
Oh my God.
Boom.
So that they
or a honey badger
attack the same target once, huh?
But it doesn't say. So another thing it doesn't say.
Yeah.
It doesn't have you like roll any dice or anything to determine the number of bees.
Right.
It just says that there are bees in it. But it doesn't say how many bees. It's unclear how, like, do all the bees get an attack?
Yeah, based on the wording, I kind of felt like it was a whole swarm, and if they do the sting, it dies.
The whole swarm dies?
Yeah, and it's just 12 damage for the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Because 12 damage is...
1d12.
Yeah.
I mean, 1d12, yeah, 1d12 could be 1.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just as easily as it could be 12.
Yeah. But it's also a save, and so that feels pretty fair for that.
Maybe the d12 of damage is also the number of bees that were in it. It also says anybody within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Has to make the save.
Yeah. It makes me wonder, like.
Yeah. So if it has bees in it, does it just always have bees in it? Because I don't know. I feel like the bees would run out eventually.
You'd have to figure out the what to roll to see how many new bees are created over time.
And if you create it without bees in it, does it have honey in it already? Or
no, I think it's just I was going to say a blank beehive, but I meant empty.
Just an empty beehive?
Is it a like a bee's nest?
It's a hive, is what it says.
Okay.
I mean, the wording.
Like, are we talking like hive. An apiary or like a wild, regular beehive?
Summons a beehive, a hive full of bees. That's what it says.
Huh.
Now it's called a hospitable hive,
right?
Which makes me think that the intended use mainly is for
the honey.
The honey, yeah.
10 pounds of honey per day, though. Huh?
That's a lot of honey.
That's a lot of honey.
I mean, that's why it's magic, I guess.
It is magic.
Because normal bees couldn't do that.
No. So they are magic bees.
They are for sure magic bees.
I guess.
And this is, by the way, still, this is Zargon, right? So this is Pokemon 1211.
Right.
Same guy who had Zargon's instant replay. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't understand. This has one use. I want 10 pounds of honey later today.
And every day.
Yeah, right.
I mean, because there's nothing stopping you necessarily from just every day you pop up another one of these babies, and
maybe this is for making that money.
10 pounds of honey will get you pretty far.
Because
a lot of settings.
Yeah.
It's actually like that would flood the market.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 pounds of honey. You'd have to be a traveling honey salesman.
Yeah.
You'd have to go around because, Huh.
You can make a lot of Alton Brown's French toast with 10 pounds of honey. I'll tell you that.
No kidding.
So if you got a bunch of stale bread sitting around and some eggs, scavenge up some eggs. Ooh.
I will say though, honey is one natural food substance that never goes bad. Like it will never be bad. They found jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs and it's still completely edible. Mm-hmm. Like totally fine.
Some honey, the flavor kind of goes away. But there's some where it stays too. Right,
yeah.
So,
yeah,
and it all depends.
And if you're like, well, this clover honey has an expiration date. Well, that's not really honey.
Yeah.
Not completely.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, come on.
We're talking about the honey from beehives, that kind of honey.
Real magical beehives.
Yeah, real actual second level spell slot magical beehives.
That's the honey we're talking about. Never goes bad.
Why would a ranger ever take this spell? Rangers don't get very many spells. In the first place, and they don't.
A swarm keeper ranger.
There is
no.
Now.
That's not a ranger.
It is.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I thought it was.
Was it a druid? No, I think it's a ranger.
No, swarm keep because ranger didn't get anything in Tasha's Cauldron, basically.
Did it not?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, let's find out.
I'm gonna look that up because that's something that I feel like I should look up.
Yeah.
Tasha's. Where are you, Tasha? There you are.
Oh, you could have just Googled it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want to pull up the actual Tasha. You know, Ranger, Swarmkeeper Ranger. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, if you're a Swarmkeeper Ranger, then this fits the flavor.
Yeah. No, absolutely it does.
Oh, can it combo with anything on here? Maybe that's what the deal is.
Combo with something.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, the Swarmkeeper Ranger basically it basically flavors it so that you use your swarm for various other types of other class spells. Mm-hmm. But like you use your swarm for that thing, like Mage Hand, but you use your swarm. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like the Beastmaster, but with a swarm of insects. They don't even have to be bees.
Right. Yeah. I've heard of ones using beetles or
right. So like you cast Gaseous Form, but you turn into a swarm of your swarm. Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of thing.
It's Shino Aburame.
Yeah, it's Shino.
Yeah.
It's Shino from Naruto. Yeah. All you weebs out there, Shino. Yeah. This is your Shino class.
Talking to you, weeb.
Yeah. Yeah, down to Arcane Eye. You can like send your swarm in there to look at stuff for you. Yeah. I don't know.
This gives your swarm a place to stay overnight.
Yeah, a second
instead of in your clothes like normal. Or wherever they stay.
Yeah, like Shino.
Yeah.
That's where they stay for Shino.
Yeah. Don't they stay like in his skin? Like under, like in their bodies?
Yeah, that's right. That's his deal. Yeah. They're like in his skin. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What an interesting show.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up because the one concern I have about this, mm-hmm. I'm about to confirm this, is that Rangers, like, they don't get very generous spell slots.
They really don't.
No. Oh no, it's not letting me scroll over for some reason. Maybe I could just
that's what you got to do.
Flip it this way. I feel like it did before. Okay.
It hasn't been for me either. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So you only get up to 5th level spells. You get your first 2nd level spell slot at 5th level.
That's not very good.
Yeah, so like
you could dip into one level of
a 20
or like 2 or 3 levels of wizard or whatever for it.
I mean, a 20th level ranger only has 3 2nd level spell slots.
Yeah, dip into 3 levels of wizard and take the spell slots, get that spell. Was wizard one of them? Yeah, druid, wizard, ranger. That doesn't matter right now. Anyway, yeah. So you could just be that like crazy ranger who like, oh, I'm a magical ranger. Want to see?
Oh, and you pull out your party tricks.
They're like, sure, okay. What kind of magic can you do? And then you like do some crazy arcane thing, mm-hmm. and then they're like, what happened? And you're like, oh well, look around. Maybe you'll find the hive. Great.
I don't know where it is. No, I just think it's more fun that way. The way it's written there, I think that actually you do get to choose where it is.
Yeah.
But I just love how it says somewhere.
Yeah, usually it would say anywhere.
Yeah. Or like at a point you choose. Yeah. But the fact that it just says somewhere within range.
Somewhere would be so good. I would play it that way. I'd be like, no. You can't make that appear there. I pick where.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll some dice to figure out where this goes because this is random. Oh no, in the river. Whoops.
It was in the creature's mouth. Or stomach.
Ooh. Just like right in there?
Yeah. But it also like
or just like in their like leg.
Oh no.
Like, oh god. Yeah. Oh. Just freaking out.
Okay, that's maybe too much.
No, you're right.
That's too crazy. It has to be an unoccupied point, probably.
Okay, yeah, unoccupied space.
Let's call it that.
It doesn't
count though. Like if it's if they're about to bite, use your reaction and
like just like please, the 1 in a million chance that it appears in their mouth.
Then they'd bite down on it, and the bees would sting them and you.
Yeah,
so it wouldn't even matter.
I'm gonna change the casting time to 1 reaction so that you can do that.
Now that's pretty rad. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, but I can't stress this enough. It's still random. Oh man, that's such a fun, it's a fun idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is what our audience was looking for.
This is what we were waiting for. Yeah,
for the homebrew.
Let's give you some more of those guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to find more of those.
Honestly, tell us how you would use these.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
I will also say that fear domain, really cool. I really like. I think that's a really, really cool idea. Really, really inventive. You know, if I were this Reddit user, I'd submit that to Wizards of the Coast as like an Unearthed Arcana subclass because it's like really cool. Mm-hmm. They might workshop it a bit. They might tweak it a little bit for balance reasons, but it's well made. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Well,
yeah. It looks like it didn't rain very much like we were thinking it might. So guess that's all I got for you today, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Our 30-minute rain segment just didn't work out today.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm hanging up. We'll catch you later.
No, you hang up.
I'll see you next year.
Oh wait, that's what you said. You said you would hang up.
Pretty little devil.
No, I'm gonna hang up first.
Wait.
Are you thinking about the logistics of that phone argument for couples?
Oh, no. I've done that. I've been there.
No, I'm going to hang up first. No, I'm going to hang up first. That's a good one.
I got him that.
And later when you talk to him again, you're like, no, I hung up first.
No, definitely saw the screen on my phone. Go to the end screen there. And,
yep. I got that red button. I hit it before. It didn't drop out before I hit that.
All right. We'll see you later, dudes.
Yep. Until next time. That was a good episode.